Yeah. What's going on, Las Cruces? It's your boy DJ Kels here at KTALLP 101.5 FM in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Now we're going to jump into the life and learning segment. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy, listen up, and apply.
Thank you, Kellen. My name is
No problem.
Annie, and I'm a youth leader here at the lab. And for the next few minutes, I'll be exploring the topics of life and learning from the perspective of both a young person in our community and a mentor in our community. So our guests today are Lamaya and Kobe.
Hi.
Today, we will be discussing the climate crisis rally on September 20th.
Thank you, Annie. It's so nice to be here and get an opportunity to talk about important things happening in our community.
I mean, I think this is a really cool opportunity to just expand on this.
Thank you. So, I asked us to talk about the rally because I was the one who first posted it on the National Climate Crisis Network online. And I didn't get much feedback from the community. One woman named Gail, who had just moved here, decided to take the ball and run with it. And then we've been having difficulty getting youth involved. So I'm a little troubled by that because it's supposedly a national youth movement.
I think that's unfortunate just because of as a youth myself, I find this to be a very important topic to be we're talking about it now, but I think this is something that requires more than just talking to be actionate about. I'm going to this rally. I'm going to this rally. It's on September 20th, right?
Correct. And it's going to be in the park that's part of the library. You know, it's in front of the library, and we all think of that as the library park, but it's also called the Johnson Park. That's its formal name, and it's at the corner of Picacho and North Main Streets. So right there at the corner where we have political actions, we are commonly see them there at the corner. And what I was going to say is it's going to start 11 and go till 1, but it could go all day if enough people wanted to stand there and make a spectacle. And and there's supposed to be a rally, a formal rally at noon, and we'll have speakers, pro-environment speakers.
Yeah, it is really troubling that you're having such a hard time getting youth involved because, yeah, this is going to affect us the most in the long run. So, where was this posted? Because I know that I saw it on Facebook, I think.
Yes, local people who are involved posted it on Facebook, but I first got an email from Move On, which is a political organization, that the youth across the nation were striking on that day, which means, I guess, that they're leaving school and going to their rally to make their parents and older people of the community realize that they're really concerned about the state of the environment and that it should be everyone's top priority. Because if we don't have a place to live that can sustain life, then it's over. And we don't have a Planet B.
That's true. We're not ready for like Mars and stuff yet, so
We got to take care of what
gotta
we
take
have
care
right
of what
now.
we have here. Like, yeah, nah, that's very true.
I mean, even though I'm technically the youth part of this, I'm thinking about this not just for my own future, but like, what if I want kids one day? You know, I mean, I'm thinking about this like this rally is not just important to me, but like, if I'm hoping to inspire like the next generation of people after me too, because this is an important subject. Even if we do ever move on to a different planet, this will always be Earth. This will be our home until we fade into the ether of space. But I mean,
That's true.
And really, we're so lucky to have such a planet. We could have lived on Mars, where we didn't have an atmosphere and nothing, and everything was made of like iron and sand. But instead, we have this green, blue, beautiful, beautiful place, and I want to show it to like my grandkids one day or something.
So I'm interested in how, when I talk to people about it, I get this sense of reservation. It's like because the Democratic Party has politicized being an environmentalist. So now if you're not a Democrat, it's like, oh, I don't want to say I'm an environmentalist because then I will be a radical left person. But this is an issue that doesn't have anything to do with politics at its core. It has to do with us all living. You know, that's the basic bottom line. It's about us continuing to be able to survive as a species. And I'm worried about our country because it's as if we do not feel we have the freedom of expression to say that, you know, we might be at our end, you know, because for many people, especially older and more conservative people, that is not right. You know, that's suddenly troubling them and making them feel like, well, maybe you don't believe in God if you believe that we're going to finish living as a species, because if you think we're going to go extinct, then that means you're saying you don't think there's a God, you know, so it suddenly gets very dicey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has their. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
ahead.
good.
No, I was saying because everybody's gonna have their certain opinions and approach and outlook to it, so it's gonna get. It's gonna clash pretty much, like you were saying.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is much more civic because it's science, right? This is what's happening.
Yeah.
There's scientific evidence showing what's going on, and that shouldn't be politicized at all. You know, this is what's going on, and we need to listen to the scientists and what's going on around us.
I mean, that's the unfortunate truth of where we live, is that religion, science, all the things that we're kind of built on not to bring into politics as a country have now been brought so heavily into politics. I mean, one of the big major freedoms that we started off was like freedom of religion, and now people are afraid to mention religion entirely. And now this is starting to affect, now the same kind of lack of freedom is starting to affect our ability to affect the world around us, to affect it in a positive way. And that is something that is detrimental to both our communities, our species, our planet, to everything that makes up our reasons for being here. Even if there is a God, he made this earth, and now we are ruining it. So we are ruining something that God made, in a sense. That should be looked down upon as something that's horrible.
So I get the sense that Las Cruces has a very strong conservative community, and many of our civic leaders or our leaders in our community have not mentioned the rally or even said they would be at it, because I'm feeling that they're afraid that it will mark them as a radical left, a member of our political system who supports the new Green Deal, and those people have been looked upon as really extremists, and in this community you can't get reelected if you're an extremist. So have either of you heard of the new Green Deal?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Or the Green New Deal, I guess it is.
I haven't heard too much about it.
So there are certain presidential candidates in the Democratic Party who are using that as their platform, the Green New Deal, which is concerned with our nation's carbon footprint and putting in really strict regulations about our environment and methods to protect it.
I don't see. Is there a negative side?
There is a negative, because that all costs money. You know what I mean? People can't make money if they are being careful about not damaging the environment, and that's why we don't recycle in the United States, because we were selling all our recycling to China, and now China doesn't want it anymore. And we were not far-sighted enough to create our own recycling corporation or process, and that's because it cost too much money. But I thought the planet was priceless.
Contradictions.
Contradictions.
Yeah. Yeah. I truly believe in that. Definitely with the Wall-E and the technologies. Definitely, it's happening now.
Look, I don't.
So I think we're losing where even I guess priorities.
Yeah, priorities. Well,
Definitely.
I think that
So-
the Republicans, and I apologize to my friends and family out there who are Republicans, and if I'm misspeaking, please set me straight. But it seems to me that Republicans' number one value is the almighty dollar. And whatever it takes to make that, they will adjust their value system so that small business and big business are doing well. Look at our economy right now. We're having a booming economy, but for the upper classes, not for you and I. I don't think you and I are doing very well. I look at my students at DACC, and they're all struggling. I look at my streets, and there's a greater number of homeless people on them. So, I know people who are on SSI who are getting food stamps, who shop at Savers only when Savers is having a sale, who go to the food bank. It's a way of life here in Las Cruces for many people.
Yeah.
That should never be a way of life for somebody to be without a home, would be worrying about your the next time you might eat. But at the same time, you're right that being green, putting like finger air quotes on that, because I'm not entirely sure what that might entail, but that costs money. Like, even thinking about it in terms of food, eating healthier, more organically, is more expensive than eating something that's been processed. Doing the same thing for the environment, it's going to cost more. It's going to cost money in the long, but it's going to cost money in the short run. But in the long run, it has to be worth it out of sheer survival instincts.
Yeah.
Well, look at our water situation in Las Cruces. We have a water shortage, yet somehow we still happen to have quite a number of golf courses. And NMSU uses water on its golf course, and how many other endeavors that do not support our food system, our food growing system. And in Flint, Michigan, they didn't have enough money to keep the water safe. And so water is life, as we know, and if we don't have water, we don't have life. And that's becoming a commodity that people sell, and soon they'll be selling oxygen, and
That's the problem. Everything is a business. So everybody takes shortcuts, and you can even go to like real estate and building and construction, and everything is like a quick flip and stuff like that. So nobody's putting the quality out anymore. There's no quality control. It's all quantity and how quick the dollar can come in.
Yeah, and like
everything's getting corrupted, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's like you said, Cullen, about priorities. Like even like I think it was sometime in the spring, I saw on the news that NMSU has a big water tower, and they had to let out some of the water for a maintenance check. But
Okay.
instead of collecting the water and taking it to the fields or taking it to another place to conserve it,
with water trucks, you could have done that.
yeah, I mean, they
I was gonna
just
say
let it
different
go.
ways.
And I think that was all about saving money, right? Because it's
Mm.
easier to just let it go than to try and save it. But that's so wrong. So wrong.
I mean, we do live in a desert. You would think water would be the most obvious commodity that almost stereotypically is needed here.
Correct. And so I think it's a question of values and how we look at our world and what paradigm we view the world through, what lens. And I lived many years in California, even though I was raised in New Mexico, and then I came back to New Mexico, and I know what it is like to live in a city where you can't get access to shade. You can't get access to water, fresh water. You can't get access to a bathroom. There are no pedestrian-friendly walkways, so it's all freeway. And, human beings and animals are not designed to live in that environment.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, even coming from a different area, the East Coast.
Yeah, I hear
you, in Springfield, Massachusetts, where I'm from, we were kind of known for water, the fresh water. Like when I would go home, the first thing I would do was get a glass of water from the sink, or bottled waters. I didn't have to filter anything. And now we're going through that crisis up there. I found out from my mother, and we were used to getting water from like the reservoirs and all that stuff like that. And yeah, now it's going downhill like
That's a sad story.
So
when we become dependent on our government for the quality of our water, for the delivery of our water, for the quality of our air, for the quality of our food, the safety of our food, and the safety of our home, we have become vulnerable. And I'm encouraging everyone to join us on Friday, September 20th, between 11 and 1, and not as a political statement, but as a statement that you understand that you are a human being and you are a mammal and you have certain requirements to survive, and the government that is in place currently is not recognizing that, and survival has now become a classist privilege. And so I think everyone should not take my comment as an alarmist battle cry, but as a calm statement of the fact, a true fact, a fact that's based in science. And come and join us to just stand up for the right to survive.
Yes, definitely. I think. Oh, did you want?
Yeah, your guys' talk has been really just reminding me about a project that actually I did in school where the song Mine, Mine, Mine from Pocahontas, and it has the double meaning of mine, the earth, and this land is mine. There's a quote that I remembered from Eisenhower's actual farewell speech, because I'm a nerd. And it's, as we peer in, yes, I know. As we peer into our society's future, we, you and I, and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own needs and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow. And I believe that's what we're doing now. We're living for our own convenience. And we need to stop it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. It's been a very interesting conversation. Thank you, Annie. And Kobe, maybe you should identify our station, and we'll go out with some great music.
This is KTL LP 101.5 Las Cruces. And we're the lab.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Kobe. Yeah, Learning Action Buffet. It's your boy DJ Kels. That was Life and Learning. Hope you guys can apply that. Yes. Shouts out to everybody in here. Shantae, happy birthday. Mondo Mania. We got the lovely Laura. We have Annie. We got Daddy Shantae in here. Tony Sr. Shouts out Tony Jr., his sister, Trina, everybody. Yes. Lamaya, of course. Kobe, Annie, everybody. Yeah. So here at the Learning Action Buffet, I'm your boy DJ Kels. KTALLP 101.5 FM. Remember, guys, apply and be aware. Yeah.